Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the rest of 2024. You have this Phoenix rising. It says, you've been through the fire and rising up anew and embracing life in a deeper way. Infinite possibilities. You are on the right path. Favorable energies are guiding you at this time. So that looks amazing, Gemini. You still have Jupiter in your sign. So, again, it could be an amazing time for you to expand, grow, very lucky time as well, where you could be finding a lot of luck. So I like to see that. And Jupiter energy will definitely bring in infinite possibilities. So just because there are possibilities doesn't mean anything's going to happen. Obviously, you have to take action. You have to look for these opportunities. They're not going to just magically appear. So I would, get out there, do research. If you're trying to, grow something or improve something in your life, I would be, you have to actually go dig for gold and find those opportunities so that you can take advantage of them, of course. But this looks pretty good so far. You have the World, the Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. I kind of feel like this really is just saying that you are expanding your place in the world. The Queen of Swords could be you. You show up as the Lovers here as well. So again, you are showing up in the reading. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength. Your first card being the World would kind of say that you are presenting yourself to the world. You could be presenting new projects. You could be starting new things. You could be getting into relationships. Anything that would change your position in the world is probably what is going to be happening for you at the end of the year here. And especially if it's going to be some sort of achievement, the world can represent an achievement or achieving something great. You have the Queen of Swords. I feel like you're getting a lot of answers at the end of the year here, especially if you don't know what to do, is what I'm getting. If you have been in a period of time where you're saying, I know I want to do something with my life, but I just don't know what to do, I feel the Queen of Swords showing up here is saying you're finally getting the clarity that you desire, that you need to be able to make more progress or to be able to get started on something. You have the Hermit. This is probably why you haven't known what you want to do if it wants to focus. The Hermit has climbed to the top of this mountain, and of course he's been through a dark night of the soul, or he's been doing some soul searching. He's been through a period of darkness, and now he has found his inner light. The trick with the Hermit is that we have to shine our inner light. We have to kind of come down from the mountain and show people what we're made of, or we have to do something that shows the world what we're made of. And I think it's interesting as well that on this infinite possibilities card, there's a hand that's reaching up to that star. So I kind of feel that Gemini has discovered their inner light, or you are about to be shining your inner light. So let's see where this is going. With the World card, you have the Tower. So it wouldn't really surprise me if there were just global tower moments happening at this time. This could also just say that you're making a big change, which is really kind of more of what I get from the reading. Again, I don't think the Tower is a bad card. I think the Tower gets a bad rap. And yeah, there could be some earth-shaking things happening in your life. You could be shaking things up, but I kind of feel like it's you that is shaking things up. It's not like I don't feel this is something that's happening to you. I think that you are the mover and the shaker at this time. So it's sure, you could be creating tower moments, but the tower just could be reinventing yourself. It could be seeing reality for how it actually is. It could say that you are creating towers for other people, but that's on them. People shouldn't have that much of an attachment to us. If we do something that upsets another person, that's on them, right? So I think that you could be making changes. And by the way, Tower with the World can just be a move. So some of you could be moving or making big moves. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Magician. There you go. I literally said reinventing yourself. The Magician is all about reinventing yourself. He also here would be pointing over to the Wheel of Fortune and the Moon. The Wheel of Fortune would be a change in your fortunes. And with the Magician, if we are reinventing ourselves, then we can definitely change our fortunes by changing who we are. And he has this snake wrapped around his waist. So the reason you have the Tower is that you could be reinventing yourself, and people might not like it because you're changing, but too bad is what I say there. So keep doing what you're doing. With the Hermit, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is about curiosity or being curious about the future. So I feel for a lot of you that you are kind of just in a period of curiosity. I kind of feel like this, we go up 4 cups to the 4 swords. I feel like that 4 swords is saying, it would be a great time for you to dream big, to have big dreams, to just let your imagination run wild and see where it leads, because you never know. It could lead to something great. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this patience card, and you also have this intuition card. Pretty much every single reading has had an intuition card in it. So clearly, the end of the year is going to be a very intuitive time. That patience card kind of reminds me of the star card. And so it's like the water is pouring into that pool there. So I feel you have to be patient with some sort of dream or something that you're creating. And, I think as long as you are patient with it, then things will go very, very well for you. You have the Five of Swords, Four of Cups, and the Lovers. The Five of Swords, this kind of gives me the vibes of preparing for new love. So for those of you that do want love, I feel you could be preparing yourself for new love. It's kind of like the process here, right? It's like you've been through the separation in the past or the breakup. You have the Four of Cups. You're not sure if you want to accept something new in your life, or you're not sure if there's anything better that could come in for you. And then boom, you have the Lovers, like true love showing up. So that's how this story is popping into my head, is like you could be in this time where you've been through some battles, you've been through some situations, but the whole point of the Five of Swords is that this guy at the front of the card, he has learned how to win. He's learned how to walk away. Some people say he has won at all cost, which is kind of like, that's kind of true. And, it is true, but I think that you have learned how to get the win after a breakup, even if you're on the losing side, whatever that means, right? And, it's like, I feel like you've learned how to get the lesson from the situation. You've learned how to get something out of it. And really, that's what this is saying to me. I do feel like there could be a new love offer coming in for you. Again, he's had these offers before. He's got a new offer that's coming in for him. But this is a card of contemplation and apathy. So he's like wondering, should I take this cup into my life, or should I avoid it at all cost? And, again, I think it would be worth it here, Gemini. If you do want love, I feel it would be worth it for you to open up to someone new. You could be attracting a fixed sign, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo. You have the 4 fixed signs twice. With the World in the Wheel of Fortune. So it could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, or a Taurus, or a Leo that you're attracting. You show up here as the Lovers. Again, you could be attracting love, but I also kind of feel that this is just you showing up in a very strong position. Again, I love readings where people show up as their own major arcana card, because, it puts you in a position of power and strength, and it really says that you are present with the energy. So it's a clue for me as a reader that you are just working with the energy that shows up on the table. And, again, I always see this as a good thing. With the Five of Swords, you have the Five of Wands. So I think that someone caused conflict in the past. It's kind of funny because I literally see this as past, present, future. That's not normally how I read, but this row, I see past, present, future. And I think that in the past you experienced conflict, or someone created conflict. I also feel like some of you dealt with a person who just refused to let you in, or just like point blank period refused to open up, right? It's like I get that feeling of a very closed off person. It's like they would let you in a little bit, but they would never fully open up. And, kind of the effed up thing that's popping up in my head is I think they gave other people way more time than they gave to you as well. And so, again, I think if you're coming off of a connection like that, it can be, obviously it can be very hard to open up to someone new. With the Four of Cups, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, trust your intuition here. Again, I think that sometimes, I hear people say things like, oh, the last person did X, Y, Z to me, and I'm never going to open up to another person again. And I'm always like, well, congratulations. That person now lives your life for you. And also, it's like there were just things that you just didn't pay attention to. And you shouldn't beat yourself up over this either. But like I always say, it's like people tell us who they are right away. Every single person I've ever dated, they pretty much told me exactly what was going to happen right away. And I don't think we should avoid dating either. It's an experience. I think we're here to have experiences. Even if it doesn't end well, we're here to learn. So I tell people all the time, it's like, if someone says something weird, I don't think you have to break up with them, but, you should probably pay attention. And if they keep saying things that sound weird, then it might be a good time to either have a conversation or leave. But again, I think we all could get better at paying attention to what people show us. And we also need to realize that for the most part, people don't change, right? So if someone tells you on the first date that they basically cheat all the time, probably shouldn't go out with them again, right? Probably not. Now, do people change? Yes. But it's like, should you take that risk? Also, no. I don't think you should take the risk. So I feel like the High Priestess is saying, trust your instincts on a person because you're probably right. With the Lovers, you have the Justice card. Justice to me is like the tennis match in love. Again, kind of like the Six of Pentacles. You hit the ball to their side, wait for them to return the favor, right? If as long as there's good equal give and take, or I don't think relationships are ever truly equal. It's impossible, and I don't think we should expect someone to give exactly the same amount all the time, right? But for the most part, are they pulling their weight? And same thing with you. It's like none of us are perfect, so it's like there are going to be times where you're not pulling your weight, and there's going to be times where they're not pulling their weight. But as long as it's mostly balanced, then keep going. If ever it gets out of balance and the scale is going in the wrong direction, have a conversation. I think we all need to get better at opening our mouths and saying things, because we could probably prevent things from becoming, some sort of big resentful issue, which happens in most relationships, right? People just let the resentment build and build and build until they explode. But if we talk about whatever is going on, we can fix it. I think we're afraid to talk about it because we're afraid of losing a person, right? But if we didn't do that, we would set the person free if they leave in the first place anyway, or we would find a person who actually says, okay, I'll put in the work. And if you find a person who puts in the work, like that, you just found a freaking unicorn based off of the current market that is out there. So again, I think it's always worth it to try to find a person who is willing to put in the work. That's like half the battle, or 90% of the battle, maybe. I don't know. In the area of messages from your future self, you have this hourglass that says time is of the essence. You have the Screen Man. It says the forces of nature favor you. So I think that there is kind of like a lever that you could be pulling. That's how I see it in my head, this row, in your life. And it's like the universe wants you to pull the lever. I'm going to skip forward to the middle card, the Wheel of Fortune, because I feel like this is the thing that you're pulling. It's like I don't see it as a Wheel of Fortune. I just see it as like a switch that needs to be flipped, or a lever, whatever you want to call it. And I feel that some of you have an idea that you think could change your life, or that you think could improve some area of your life. And I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is saying, yes, definitely pull that lever. And I feel like that's where time is of the essence. Like you need to get started on something that you've been thinking about, or it's something that you have been dreaming about. Your first card is the Four of Swords. So you might have a big dream at this time, or you might be imagining something that could be a blessing. This person right here is blessing this other person in the stained glass window. And I feel like it's time for you to flip the switch, or it's time for you to pull the switch, or something like that is popping into my head with this Four of Swords. It's like you've been sleeping on it. Maybe you've been imagining something. Now it's time to take action. You have the Hangman here. And so the Hangman says, I think there are several cards here. Let me back up and say this, that there are several cards here that really show me as a reader, again, that you are getting the clarity you need to make progress. Queen of Swords, the High Priestess, trust your intuition, and the Hangman. The Hangman has finally gained enlightenment. His head is glowing on this card, which says that he has finally gained enlightenment. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. So I kind of feel that there's a thread throughout the reading that's saying that you finally, at the end of the year, have the answers you need. Remember what I said at the beginning? It's almost like you haven't known what to do, and now you do. With the Four Swords, yes, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is inspired action. He feels inspired to do something, and so he does it. It's just that simple. And he embraces the mystery as well. He's willing to kind of learn as he goes. He's willing to start a journey, even if he thinks he doesn't have everything he needs. He starts it anyway, and he learns as he goes. So, I think this is inspired action. With the Wheel of Fortune, you cannot make this up. You have the Ace of Wands, which is inspired action. And Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. But the Ace of Wands is just a spark. It is kind of like that moment of inspiration where you're like, oh, I came up with this brilliant new idea, and I need to start working on it. So as I always say with the Ace of Wands, it's kind of like you're sparking into a fire, or trying to create a fire. You get the spark, and then after the spark, you need to keep that fire building. So in the Wheel of Fortune is all about momentum. With the Wheel of Fortune, we have a choice. We can do things that build momentum in a positive direction, or obviously we can go the other direction. And so we have to put the right type of fuel on the fire with the Wheel of Fortune. So I would really, I've been saying this for years, because ever since Saturn and Capricorn, I'm telling you, Saturn and Capricorn has two lessons according to Chris's crappy astrology. Learn as much as you can about whatever it is you're doing, and also 80-20. It's be as efficient as possible. And we have more and more energy building towards efficiency in the astrology. astrology. And so again, if we're not efficient, then we're going to be slow. If we are efficient, then we're actually going to experience a lot of speed and things moving quickly. Now, efficiency isn't necessarily speed. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's not. Sometimes the most efficient way to do something does take a little bit of work, but if you do the work, is it building momentum? That's what you need to pay attention to here with the Ace of Wands. With the Hangman, you have the Eight of Cups. I think this is just saying that you are done with the research side of things, maybe, or Hangman is gathering information, right? He's gaining enlightenment, and now it's time to, put things into practice. Basically, put the things you've learned in darkness with the Hermit right over here. It's like you've done the research, Page of Swords. Now it's time to walk away from that period of time, and it's time to walk into a period of action. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this moon circles. It says support on it, and you have this moonstone. It says slow it down. Gemini, I know I'm a Gemini moon, so I totally understand Gemini energy, and I think that us Gemini people, our mind can move very, very quickly. I'm a 5-degree Pisces, by the way, and 5 degrees is also Gemini. So, I think that, I totally get it. The quick movement, the quick mind, wanting to do things quickly. But I think paying attention to process is going to be important for you in whatever you're working on. You have the 10 of Wands, the Moon, and the 9 of Cups. So the 10 of Wands and the good stuff would actually say you're getting to the end of a period of hard work, that you are about to receive the fruits of your labor. But the 10 of Wands also could be about process, just like I said. Pretty much everything we do could be broken down like a little nerd, right? You could break everything down into steps. And I feel you need to look at the things you work on: health, wealth, happiness, your relationships, everything. And are you doing things in the most efficient way possible? The answer for him is no. He is burdened by the work that he's doing. So he could probably make things more efficient. Why doesn't he have a wheelbarrow, I can't say that word, to carry all these wands? Why doesn't he buy a tractor to drag all these wands? Why not? Like, why isn't he doing things easier? And, again, I think that there could be some tractors in your life where if you added in, something into your business, like maybe it's an app or something like that, it could make it a lot easier. Same thing in love. It's like maybe you spend a lot of time, with words of affirmation on your partner, but maybe it goes in one ear out the other. Maybe they're the type of person that appreciates quality time. And it's like maybe pulling those levers, like we said earlier, the right ones would be much more efficient. And I think this reading is really screaming efficiency. You have the Moon. The Moon in the good stuff would say that you're entering into a time of clarity, and the whole entire reading says you're entering into a time of clarity. You have the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups would be you getting something you wish for. So clearly, I feel there could be a lot of fulfillment. Having Jupiter in your sign is considered to be, very lucky. It's considered to be very fulfilling as well, or at least you have the opportunity to create fulfillment. Again, as I always say, tarot, astrology, it can't do anything for you. You have to work with the energy. So I would be learning and studying ways to become more fulfilled. With the 10 of Wands, you have the Moon again. So a lot of repeating cards in this set of readings, by the way. And whenever we have repeating cards, it's kind of like confirmation from the universe that you're going in the right direction. So I think whatever you're working on, or whatever clarity is being presented to you at this time, it's like guiding you towards a dream. The Moon and the good stuff can be a dream that you're manifesting on Earth. With the Moon, you have the World again, so love it. more repeating cards. The World is an accomplishment, and so again, you literally could be bringing a dream down to Earth. With the 9 of Cups, you have the 4 of Wands here. I thought you had the 4 of Wands twice. I guess I'm making that up, but the 4 of Wands could be marriage. It could also be freedom as well. The 4 of Wands is the card of true freedom or setting yourself free. The 4 of Wands is also a card of completion. It can represent you completing one thing and kind of like taking something to the next level, Gemini. So I do feel that you could be leveling something up or taking something to the next level. You have this fulfillment card. Yes, I just said the word fulfillment on the 9 of Cups. So you are clearly in a time of total fulfillment. This card is Jupiter and Saturn and Sagittarius. And so it would represent like doing something to find fulfillment. I literally just said that. I got this feeling that it's like, yeah, there's a lot of fulfillment energy, but you have to go find things that fulfill you. I always get comments from people that are like, I don't know what makes me happy. I'm like, go try stuff. Like, go get a hobby. Go try a bunch of hobbies and see what makes you happy. Because again, I think happiness is a state to be achieved. We don't just get to be happy. So I think you need to find things that do make you feel fulfilled, and that would be really good for you. You have this egotism card. This card's come up a lot in this set of readings as well. We have Mars going retrograde at the end of the year in Leo. I would definitely, with Mars retrograde in Leo, be careful of anyone who has like a big ego. For sure. You have this exaltation card. Love it. This card just basically says the universe is blessing you at this time. So again, I kind of feel like there are just universal blessings. You have this power card. Jupiter in your sign makes you expansive. So again, if you are trying to get into like authority positions, management positions in work, if you're trying to become an authority on a topic online, any of that stuff, it would be a great time to work towards that. And then finally, you have this endurance card. Again, I feel like your hard work is paying off. 10 of Wands. The endurance card just says you have had endurance. You haven't given up on things that you're working on, and you're creating success. So love it, Gemini. Looks really, really good. I would stay open to the possibilities with that infinite possibilities card, but it looks really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the rest of your year.